I'll tell you about it really comes down to your personal preference, but I'll tell you the characteristics of both sides. So, like the joke I was making before about the naked dude in his garage, doing oil paintings or whatever, that's like the old school illustrator. If you're that kind of person and you don't like being around people and having to be in the office at a certain time and a certain place and getting and snapping your fingers and having to be creative at 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning, whatever your thing is, if you like to kind of wind up to it and get your do it at your own pace, then freelancing is probably a better thing because you have the freedom to do things when you want. You can work at night, you can work in the morning, middle of the day, take a break if you don't feel like it. But that's the positive side of that. And freelancing, you have higher rate, your day rate is higher, and it needs to be higher because you don't have the stability of the health insurance and you don't have the stability of like constant work. So you should be charging more for that, in terms of an hourly rate. Benefits of studio job also are just, for me, I'm a little bit no, I'm not a little bit, I'm very, very ADD, and I need to bounce. I like to bounce around a lot. I like to, like, not physically bounce around, but I like to take on different tasks a lot, and I get distracted sometimes.
Yeah.
So me having a schedule where I'm in the office and I'm working and I'm focused, and you have Stranger Things on in the background, you know what I'm saying? And you got something going to keep you focused, and you can just go through 4 hours, and it keeps me on a schedule. And then when I'm done, and I come home, I can either work on personal work, I can do some, like, if I have an online class, or I have like tutorial or whatever it is, I could choose to do something else when I want. But I know that the work I have to do is in that time frame, and anything else that I sign up for is on me. That's like my own thing that I
Yeah.
want to do. So that's a benefit of having, for me, that's what helps me having a full-time staff job. um, and downsides to it are, you're on a project for 2 years. If you don't like that project, you're on that project for 2 years at least, sometimes three, and if it was Last of Us, then it would be 4 years. Like, that's a long time to be on a project.
Yeah.
So some people get sick of that. Now, if it was something that you really like if you're really into Destiny and you love sci-fi and you work at Bungie and all you do is draw spaceships and cool bridge designs and drop ships and docking bays all day, and that's what you're into, then you'll have a great time, and you probably won't get tired of it in 4 years.
You
Um,
will. I'm pretty sure you will eventually, but
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess whatever it is that you're doing, if you're doing it all day, every day, then you're gonna
yeah.
actually, no, that is a good point. Because my last job at High Moon, which I had a very good crew at High Moon as well. Those were some cool cats. Those were my good buddies still. We were doing only stylized 80s robot stuff. We were doing Transformer franchise, but the stylized, like, comic booky one where everything is painted and there's no
Yeah.
photos and there's no photoreal, there's no 3D. You're just doing paintings of like these stylized robots all day. Was I eventually, I'm like, dude, I want to, at a certain point, I was like, I want to go, what, Naughty Dog, hell yeah, I want to go work there. I want to do some natural landscapes, some snowy mountains and some trees and some cool organic environments, because all I painted was mechanical stuff for 4 years pretty much. So
Yeah.
you're right. Anything seems that, and again, back to my point about why it's so important for me personally, again, personal opinion, it's important for me to have the one job and then have my other jobs, like, that I do on the side, that I'm allowed to do, because it gives me that flexibility where I don't ever get too tired of it, because I come home and I'm designing some sci-fi hangar or something, and then I go to work and I'm doing, like, giant jungle mountain landscapes with waterfalls or something, and they're
Yeah.
totally opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it all depends, I guess, how you approach to studio work. If you think of it as, it gives you a stability, it gives you like this tasks that you can complete within the time frame, and there's, usually, especially for concept artists, I don't, there's not that many concept artists that are basically, crunching all the time. It's more of a, you know, uh, game design or other artists that are doing it more than concept artists. But anyways, it kind of gives you that stability. You know that at the end of the month or at the end of every week or bi-weekly or whatever, you're gonna get that paycheck. It's always the same. It's always gonna be it gives you like the stability. It gives you like the baseline that you can jump off from and do everything else you want. And also, you're never in a situation where um, you're gonna be overloaded with work or you're not gonna have enough to keep yourself busy, especially like if you really need to be, keep yourself busy with work, for instance, right? Like you say, you have ADD, so I'm pretty sure you would want to have something going on regardless whether you're having a job or not. Like I just fucking need to do something, right?
Always. Yeah, you got to feel
Right.
productive. Yeah.
So that full-time job is kind of giving you that. Granted, the difference is obviously, you're gonna probably get a little less money from doing that than doing freelance, and you're stuck with a project for a couple of years, and so those are the sort of like the drawbacks of working in studio.